Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Wow, here we go. So, Trump did three rallies. Let me get this mic out of here. This setup going better. Maybe you'll hear me better. But Trump did three rallies today. I just finished watching his last rally. And last night I was broadcasting during his rally. I don't like to do that. I don't like going up late. But then again, I don't like my country being conquered either, so I gotta make sure I do whatever I can with my little bitty abilities to help the cause. But a lot of people are putting out advice to stay off of X. Don't listen to all the high level psyops and get discouraged and phony polls and well, I want to keep up with it because I can tell garbage from truth, garbage polls. I like seeing panic like Kathy Hochul coming out telling people that she acts like she stumbled across some kind of secret um, uh, uh, club of Republicans. Oh my goodness! I just want to let you know that these people I found out were going to vote Republican. Just you keep in mind they're against women and they're against apple pie and they're anti-American. You know, coming out with that kind of battle. And well, the unfortunate side to it is there are lunatics, some people, not a lot, but some people reacting violently and damaging property or assaulting people, from the left. And you don't hear a lot of it. But every little thing a Republican does, wears a hat in a polling place and gets a little dust up. They act like the world's coming to an end. But anyway, it's part of history. I'm going to take in as much of it as I can. I've got a level head, and I know that this has been many years in the making. Many years in the making, and we know who's in control. Well, ultimately, God's in control. But as far as America's concerned, the Patriots have been in control, are in control, and continue to be in control. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Mary. Hi, Marie. Nice to see you. Kim, Roberto, and Angela. Nice to see you, Island Girl. Okay, so Mr. T's got four rallies. Four rallies tomorrow. My goodness. No, 3 tomorrow and 4 the next day. Is that what it is? Well, all this negativity, I'm sure you all have heard aside. Some nitwit came out with a poll that has these delusional, what's her name, Rosie O'Donnell types, all excited. They think that Kamala's up in Iowa, or as my old friend used to say, Iowa. And yeah, it's a phony poll. I mean, it's just a joke. I think Depressed Ginger did I called him Angry Ginger once. It's Depressed Ginger. Came out with a video on it. It's just ridiculous, laughable. And but they're going to keep trying to do that. And we're getting information out of Colorado, Georgia, Wisconsin, North Carolina, shenanigans, people breaking the rules, this, that, and everything else. Well, we knew it was coming. We just got to soldier on. Let's see if our friend comes in. We all made a new friend the other day, and we'll see if he comes in. He wanted to go vote. Hi, Devin. How you doing? Sandy, nice to see you. Ronald. Yeah, we want to encourage people to get to the polls. Hook or crook. When did you ever see or hear of a community. Because you know how the liberals always want to talk about community. It's for the community, you know, but not when it's, you know, getting in their own pocket, or actually they want to force the government to do things for the community, but the community doing for the community, like people buying food, pizzas, renting lawn chair furniture for people so they can stay in line out of their own pockets, you know, just coming together and having a good attitude and saying, look, we're not giving up. We're not going home. We're going to stay here till we can vote. And, you know, some people fall into traps like that guy with a hat had Let's Go Brandon hat. And every place I've ever heard of or ever went to vote at, sometimes I would go to other precincts to help hand out flyers and stuff over many years. The rules were always that inside the polling places were neutral. You don't bring any campaign paraphernalia inside, nothing like that. That's nothing new. What this is, these are people that vote very sparingly, if at all, and they finally go to vote. They get off their rear ends, Harry, get off that couch. They get in to vote, and, you know, they think they can go in wearing, you know, all this hoop-de-doo stuff in the polling station. You just can't, you know, and then it gets into a I don't like using this term, but pissing contest, you know, so it looks bad, but, you know, live and learn. Like I said, if people would have taken care of their own neighborhoods, their own towns, involved in local politics, all politics is local, we wouldn't be at this point. And I've said in the past, even if it's a daggone dog catcher, you want to make sure they have a decent philosophy. And then, well, what's the next story that comes up? Animal control, which is the dog catcher going in and taking out poor little Peanut. I know you all heard of that, and the raccoon, because some do-gooder complained. Somebody mind their own business. Who cares if a guy's got a squirrel in his house that he saved with a broken tail? But some people, like I said, they just got to stick their nose. The first symptom of a commie is they are nosy. They don't have enough going on in their own life, and they got to wonder what everybody else is doing, worry about what everybody else is doing, can't mind their own damn business. And, you know, I saw Trump put out a statement on it. I got it on my phone, actually. I might pull it up and read it. But it is a microcosm of the bigger problem. 6 or 8 well-paid, you know, not super paid, not overly paid, but pretty good wages to get all hoop-de-dooed up in their battle gear or whatever they're wearing, and wires sticking out, and radios going off, and big boots, and coming in looking for a squirrel, searching somebody's house for 5 hours, coming in your home, going through your stuff over a daggone squirrel. And then they euthanize the squirrel and the raccoon. If people would mind their own business, there'd be a Peanut video up for people to watch on YouTube. Big deal. Here's Peanut. He's eating a carrot. Oh, isn't that cute? No, Peanut's gone. Peanut's gone. So, but hey, there you have it. When you have people who have a meanness, Trump said that at his rally. He said a lot of stuff at his different rallies. He said we were occupied, we're conquered. Right now, we talked about that last night. Use the term confluence. I talked about that last year. It's a maritime term. not primarily, but it's used a lot in maritime terminology. A confluence is when you got like three different bodies of water, and the point that they all the forces of the different a river, a creek, they all come together and it creates a confluence. That's what we're in. The power of separate events merging. So, yeah, we're all thinking on the same page. Yeah, poor Peanut. Isn't it awful? Isn't it awful? And, how can they look at themselves? One of them said they got bit. We shouldn't have been in there bothering the squirrel in the first place. I tell you, it is a nuisance. If you've ever done any boating or some fishing and stuff, and you run into the wrong, I run into some nice game wardens. Matter of fact, the game warden was who used to give us our firearm classes when I was in grade school. I'm 10 or 12 years old. Got a certificate on how to handle a firearm from the game warden. Came to school and gave a class. So yeah, but that's many years ago. Different upbringings, different attitudes, different views on what that badge meant versus what they think it means now for some of them. That's why I was saying that Trump talking about indemnifying police versus qualified immunity. There's a difference. There's going to be more of a equal playing field, more like in real life, where everybody has responsibilities, and you're indemnified if you meet your responsibilities and are doing your job. You're indemnified. But if you are violating your responsibilities, what do you say about Kamala? Violated her oath. Criminal negligence. I was watching rallies, and UTISL takes down the Jocelyn Nungari story. When Trump says, watch this video, it's a heartbreaker. Now, RSBN would play them, but even Fox News, when Fox News is showing parts of a Trump rally, when he goes to the Jocelyn Nungari story, they won't show it. So that is a mother telling her story. They're victims of gross incompetence, malicious negligence, and I hope they get a daggone good lawyer when all this stuff is over with, who's not letting her mother, a heartbroken mother, get her true story out about what happened to her daughter. And it is, it's funny how, like with Dr. Ouchie, we were warning about Dr. Ouchie. And a certain percentage of people would not budge. Kept thinking, oh, I'm going to get the B-double-oster, right? You think you're a conspiracy theorist talking about Dr. Ouchie. He's a wonderful, famous man. But then they find out about the Beagles. Then they start thinking, never mind the human beings. When they find out about the Beagles, which is terrible, cutting their vocal cords and doing all those things. So now here's the same thing. New York's got rampant crime. This is where the thing with Peanut and the raccoon happened. It was New York. I believe it was upstate New York. That all the problems they have, all the being overwhelmed with immigrants and what's it take. The story like Peanut. What did it take without you? Story about the beagles. And if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. I love animals. I've always been an animal lover, always. But get a little frustrated with people that don't get upset at human costs first. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So we got, oh boy, 2 little bitty days, Sunday, Monday, and then it's the big day. Hi, Cola. How you doing? Hi, Ronald. Oh my goodness. Put zeros when you put that word in, Ronald. That's why I spelled it B-O-O esters. Remember? If I could just type it in the chats or say it and not get in trouble, I would do it. So I go out of my way to say a word. Don't type it normally in the chats. Now, I think it's the second time we've gone over this. So please do me a favor, Ronald, and remove that. Hi, Pappy Two Bears. Oh, there's another story, Ronald, about that Peanut made it. I hadn't heard that except from you, Ronald. Is that true? I heard he's gone. He's a goner. I hope he did make it, but boy, that would make people look kind of foolish if he didn't make it. They probably went and got a when they found out about the backlash, they said, "Go get a squirrel, go get a squirrel and act like it's a peanut," because I'm sure they got a lot of backlash, and it's just starting. Hi, Stanton, how you doing? Hi, Benjamin. Nice to see you. So anyway, Trump said something about CBS today. Did you hear it? He said, "Well, yeah, we know he's suing them for $10 million. Yeah, we know he said that they ought to lose their license. Yeah, he said they got to give the actual transcript for Kamala Harris. But he used the word jail. Somebody needs to go to jail. The way CBS is interfering with the elections. Who's the one in Colorado that let the passwords go? I was talking about it the other night. Lawyers sent a letter that she committed a class 5 felony. Okay, when she had the passwords available, or one of the passwords, and for over a month, and then went in, hi, Mike, and then went into the contraptions, okay, and changed the programs, changed the passwords without keeping a record of what had happened. Experts are saying there's no way that it can be claimed that the election in Colorado is not tainted. It's irredeemable. How can you certify something that's tainted that badly? That's right, Darren. Thank you. Griswold. They're demanding a resignation and says she's committed a class 5 felony. So you got Trump. Yeah, people are talking about other people going to jail. Why? Because nobody's above the law. How many times have we heard that? Trump's not going to go around just point at somebody, arrest him, arrest him, arrest him. No, the legal system's going to take care of it. Joker. Yeah, I read it. I read it last night. If that's the same one, Joker. And it's the same. Yeah, it's right, Mark. The same one they charged Tina Peters with. But Tina, she got in the machines. Oh gosh, I can't say that word. She got in the contraptions after the election to preserve the record, as is required by law. And they still gave her 9 years. You're right, Debbie, 9 years. You're doing good there. All right, Devin lives in Colorado. So I'm thinking it's going to be too big to rig. They're taking too many overt uh, actions, overt, blatant. I mean, for her to go run around changing that, going in there in the machine, they know what the law is. They know they're doing the wrong thing. It's desperation. They're desperate. So what happens when you have a state that has something that's that badly compromised, tainted? That's the word. That's tainted. The old saying lawyers use: once you put the spaghetti sauce on the spaghetti, you can't pick out the spaghetti and say everything's fine. So I've heard that. What else did Trump say today? He got a poll that he's leading in New Jersey. That's why I put in my thumbnail, new battlegrounds. Two of them, at least, Virginia and Jersey. And by the panicking actions, we're seeing Colorado is probably going to come into play, but it may come into play with the state legislature handling it. Okay? So, but they are going to pull out all the stops. You can't shame them. That's why I got on my thumbnail: calm, cool, collected, buckle up. There are people that are way smarter than me, have way more resources than me, have an overall picture, a 40,000-foot view, and that are monitoring this stuff and been tracking. We're dealing in many cases with the same players, as they said in Casablanca, the usual suspects. And what did Trump say? People that cheat will go to jail. So that is part of the glory of this. If you watch the excerpts from The View, when I sit there and watch Joy Behar, I know what her audience, most of her audience, doesn't know. That she got her ASS kicked out of a contract with HBO and lost herself $7 to $10 million. That she was thinking she was going to start getting in about 3 months. And it's over. That's the word I heard. Because it was like, well, maybe they'll salvage it. Maybe they'll renegotiate. Nope. They don't want to have nothing to do with her. Poison. Okay? It's poison, what they've been spewing. And you can't, I'm a comedian now. When you've been puking out the kind of vitriol, and Whoopi, she's definitely out. Pixar, nothing to do with her. That $6 million there. The Disney, I believe it was Disney, another voiceover job, 2 voiceover jobs, $7 million. You can see it in their faces, but they still got to go on with their stupid little show. And all the hysterics over everything Trump says, somebody's got to keep up with that stuff. I keep up with it recreationally when he just drops that nugget. I'm ahead in Jersey. How long did it take me to say that? 3 seconds? At an hour and a half speech, somebody's got to really pay attention. When he says CBS needs whoever did that interview needs to go to jail, and then he moves on to something else. They think he's worn out. That they're the ones getting frazzled. So there they are with all that money gone. Their prospects are getting darker and darker. Their ratings are going in the commode. They jumped on the bandwagon that he wanted Liz Cheney in front of a firing squad, which is a bold-faced lie. The person that said it came out and put out an apology with an excuse, but totally disavowed what he said. And then they got to go on the next day and still act like Trump is going, what's her name, Sonny Houston? He's going to put people in jail. He's going to arrest people. He's going to destroy people's lives. He's going to end people's lives. He's going to end democracy. He's going to destroy women. It's hysterical nonsense. So, but it's fun to watch. Called Panic. Panic, a couple of nights ago was the anniversary, 4-year anniversary when I see people mention in other channels, when all those channels got wiped off of YouTube. I counted 50 some, and I had somebody who was a creator tell me it was 60 plus channels. One of them was And We Know, and X22, and Red Pill 78, and Truth and Art TV. I could go right down the line. I'd probably get in trouble for even saying their names. They did them all in one night, coordinated wipeout. That was about 2 days ago was the anniversary. I think it was October 30th, maybe. Just Informed Talk. I used to watch him, Mike. I used to watch him, but I ended up listening to myself. We're all on the same page. Except some of them go down rabbit holes I don't care to go down. And I said, gee, I save myself 2 hours every day because I'm just listening to the same things I'm thinking that I've already broadcast. I did a broadcast, and the following day, somebody was listening to the replay and said, you're the same as X22. Why are you copying X22? I said, what are you talking about? And I watched X22. The next day, he talked about the same issue that I talked about the night before. It's kind of like when I show videos of Kamala yawning at 10 o'clock at night, and the next day you see people showing, they don't get them from me. It's just that I usually do daily recaps late in the evening, and the next day people put out their videos. I'll talk about, no kidding, 10 subjects in one video that people will take one of those subjects, do a 20-minute video on one thing, and that's what they do for the day. And they build a channel with 100,000, 200,000 subscribers. I'll talk about all the topics of the day. I don't need to puff it up with my feigned indignation or, whatever, and drag it out for 20 minutes. I tell the story and go on to the next story. And sometimes I do the weave. So, why doesn't your vote count, Devin? Don't be a negative Nelly. Of course your vote counts. We're gonna swamp the swamp. So anyway, Trump used the term activated again. In one of his speeches, he said, we need to get the sheriffs activated. And tonight, he was talking to Republicans. And he said, it's time for Republicans to get activated. And he's not talking about campaigns. He's talking about Republican prosecutors, attorney generals. He's talking about Republicans in Congress that can do impeachments. He's talking about state house congressmen that can do investigations, criminal referrals. That's what I believe he's talking about. He's telling people it's time to be activated. He's telling it to law enforcement, and tonight he said the Republicans. The Democrats have always been activated. They are activists. They don't work jobs. They don't get government jobs to serve the public. They get government jobs to serve the government. The big club, and we ain't in it. Trump is a club buster, okay? He's going to bust up the club. And they know it. Did you notice how he had a broken mic? And he had to stand there and hold it in his hand like he was at the Jerry Lewis telethon walking around. And he was mad about that. He was mad about that. But tonight it's Virginia rally, or it's North Carolina. The last one he did, North Carolina rally. Might have been the Virginia one. The mic had a buzz in the background. They smoothed it out after a while, but after half an hour. But I wouldn't put it past them. You get a guy that I told you all that I had a friend that used to go around and set up political rallies. He had a bucket truck, a van with a bucket cherry picker on it, and he would set up lights and sound and do all that stuff. He's passed away, but he used to do them for George Bush, Obama, Hillary, Republican and Democrat. But you got a guy that's got one gig for Trump. One gig setting up the sound. And he's getting, I don't know how much money, say 10 grand. Let's just use 10 grand. And you get an operative come around for a Democrat and say, hey, you screw up Trump's sound and we'll give you 15. No, I'm not saying that's what happened with the buzz in the microphone, but that's the way they think. They're always looking for weak spots, probing for weak spots. Hi, Candace. How you doing? Doc, how you doing? Which Elon offer, Mike? I know that Ron Paul's on board. Talking about Ron Paul jumping on board. And that's going to get a lot of libertarians. He's a legend. Yeah, I like him too, Cola. Like I said, there's a place for Dave in X22. There's a place in heaven for Dave because he plows on. He plows on. And so does N We Know. But like I said, we're singing the same choir, a million a day. I went through his ex's Twitters. I didn't see the million a day. Of course, I have to set up my studio. I have to do things I can't keep up with to the second X's from Elon. But he's been giving away a million a day for the people signing his petition, and they tried to shut him down, and the courts rejected that. Is that the same $1 million, or are you talking about a different million? Hi, Kathy. How you doing? Yeah, signing the yeah. He's been doing that. He's up to 15 million or 14 million already, and they tried to shut him down. I tell you another thing about Trump. He loves needling them. Remember, he said, "Oh, I could be anywhere. I could be on a beautiful beach with the sand and the water splashing against my beautiful white skin. My skin's so white because I haven't been able to go out in the sun and get a beautiful tan." And then Al Sharpton said, "Did you hear him say his beautiful white skin? That's a dog whistle. Yeah, he's against black people because he's talking about his beautiful white skin." Well, yesterday, I wore, might have been the day before, I put it in my thumbnail. He said, Kamala was cracking. She was cracking because the pressure's too much on her. And he said, "Yeah, she's a cracker." He said that about Kamala. She's a cracker. And then he said, "Yeah, she's cracking under pressure." I know he's doing that to poke Al Sharpton in the eye, and he talked about it again earlier today. Oh, my, could be on the beach with my white skin. So Kamala is a cracker. So anyway, he's just funny as can be, and I bet he has a ball thinking that stuff up with his close teams and stuff like that. But he brought up something nobody's brought up. They had the 12,000 job report, which is all phony. He said they actually lost 250,000 jobs, 250,000 jobs. Nobody's reporting on it. It's fraudulent. The American people are being defrauded through misinformation and illegal psychological warfare operations. Trump used those exact terms. Yeah, let's see. Oh, Devin, you got to be positive, Devin. I've already said the reason we went through 2020 was because this country wasn't ready for the people that are going to get arrested to be arrested. They weren't ready for it 4 years ago. When all this is said and done, the American people will be ready for it. And what's his name? Elon put out something about Chat GPT, and he's got his own. It's called Groku or something. I don't know the name of it, but he put up a tweet where Chat GPT had difficulty answering a simple question, and the AI he uses got the answer right. It's Chat GPT is being run by the black hats. That is a psyop. Like I said, it's a Wikipedia squawk box. It's nothing but a squawk box that people can change. Yeah, it's Grok. Yeah, there you go, Grok. So I'd stick with that one. I don't know how much Elon's got to do with that, but apparently maybe he owns it. I don't know, but it's seems to be much better than what you're dealing with. ChatGPT. Somebody put up, change your clocks back Sunday. Change your country back Tuesday. So we gotta wind our clocks back. I talked about that in a past broadcast. They're so arrogant they even want to screw with time. That's right. Mark, he said that all the jobs that have been created the entire year have gone to our new neighbors. Our new neighbors. People don't realize that. We were talking about that months ago. I said, oh, if you claim you created, this was like 6 months ago, you claim you created 300,000 jobs, but we had 1 million new neighbors come in. Those numbers don't work out. Not for the American people, it don't. Roanoke College women's swimming team endorsed Trump in Virginia. They came up on stage with pink shirts, and I thought to myself, oh my God, don't let me see one of them stand there about 6'6" with a mustache. Wouldn't that have been awful? But no, they're all women, real women, and they endorsed Trump. It was a nice little touch. You know, and just before I came up, I saw where Elon Musk forwarded a X from Election Wizard. And in New York, this guy, 60 years old, attacked somebody. A Trump supporter was viciously beaten in New York because he was wearing a Trump 2024 hat. The suspect punched the Trump supporter in the mouth, breaking his teeth and bloodying his mouth. The victim and the suspect did not know each other. So this guy in New York is just walking in the store, pushing his cart, and this lunatic comes up and whops him, hit him multiple times. And I got a picture of his mugshot. And they say on 11/1, around 10 a.m., in the village of Bath, cops were dispatched to a fight at the Tops Friendly Market, located at 309 West Moore Street. It was determined Robert Yacht of Bath, that's his name, Robert Yacht. So now he's going all over the internet. He looks like an old Charles Manson. He's got a little beard, white beard. Initiated a confrontation with a stranger, becoming aggressive over the fact the stranger was wearing a Trump hat. He punched the victim in the mouth and the head several times, causing the victim's teeth to be broken and his mouth to be bloodied. He was not known to the victim, and this appears to be a random act of violence. You know, we never had that going on. Never had signs being stolen all the time. Never had violence like this. He was arrested and charged with a count of assault in the second degree, a Class D felony, criminal mischief in the fourth degree, a Class A misdemeanor, and he's processed and transported to Steuben County Jail, where he's currently awaiting CAP arraignment. So he's sitting in a joint. He's probably already out of jail. Well, I put in the comments, I said, New York, he's probably the same guy that dropped a dime on Peanut. Because I tell you, whoever was the anonymous caller complaining about Peanut, guarantee you wasn't a conservative. Or am I being too harsh? Then you had a man kicked out of a New York City gym for wearing a Trump t-shirt. Citizens Free Press has a video of it, short video, guy saying, I'm getting kicked out. And I'll tell you what, if he's got video of somebody in there with opposing shirts and not being bothered, he can sue their eyeballs out of their head. I've been saying it for a long time. I wish I was young again. I wish I could. I would be taking law classes, because I can tell you what, if Kamala Harris can pass the bar exam, I can pass it. Wouldn't take me a whole heck of a lot of book learning either. And I would be, man, I'd be on that gravy train. Hi, Zaza, how you doing? Yeah, the glass is half full. That's exactly right. Oh, I forgot what state. I heard that 90% of the vote turnout for 2020 has already, the same 90% of the numbers has already come for early voting. And election day itself is supposed to be a big crowd on top of that. And Trump just put up a poll that he's leading in every single swing state. Plus, he added New Jersey and Virginia with a smile. Got him psychologically nervous. What is this called? Atlas Intel has Trump up 1.5 in the popular vote. 1.8 if you count Jill Stein and the other guy. What's his name? So he's up almost 2 points in the Atlas. And Atlas has been one of the top polls for getting the past elections right. But remember what I said about all the pollsters. I think Atlas Intel's honest. I think Rasmussen is honest. But what they're doing one thing wrong. They're weighting their models on the past vote as if the past vote was real. In other words, they're underestimating Trump hugely, Ugely, because they're acting as if the 81 million was a accurate statistical number, and it's not. And Trump's still leading. First time he's ever led the popular vote in all three campaigns. So that's good news, and that's making them sweat and making them worry. I'm getting stuff together. Now, I had another story that came up. I don't know which town it was in. 11 Alive has a YouTube community page, 11 Alive, the number 11 and then Alive. And they got a picture up of a man. I didn't have time to read the story. 92 years old, was unalived while blowing leaves in his front yard. A pillar in the community, a 92-year-old man. He was SHOT in his front yard for blowing leaves, while blowing leaves. And I don't know the story on it. Is it a new neighbor? I saw one story where they said it was only a 3-minute video. international criminal gang busted for taking out ATM machines. Oh, you think an international gang ATM machines? What is it, like Ocean's 11, or the music in the background like Mission Impossible, and the French gang? What is it? No, it's 10 guys. They're going around with construction suits on, wearing masks, of course, and cutting a wall out behind the ATM machine and going in through the back and stealing. And 9 of them were from Chile, and one was they didn't say where he was, but he was foreign. And so we're not talking about an international gang. We're talking about illegals, dollars to donuts, okay? But they put it in the headline, that's an international gang. No, it's a bunch of people from Chile going around ripping off businesses. I don't know how many they got away with. A dozen before they got caught. And then they said one of the suspects was involved in a robbery where someone passed away. In other words, he's wanted for red rum, MURDER, okay? People don't pass away during a robbery. Oh, gee whiz, sorry, fella. If I'd known you were sick, I'd have called the doctor. So they mislead with their headlines, or they just don't tell you at all. So I'm going to save that so I can check into it. Harris versus Trump in the swing states. North Carolina. Trump's up by 3.4. Georgia, Trump's up by 2.5. Arizona, Trump's up by 6.5. Nevada, Trump's up by 5.5. Wisconsin, Trump's up by 1. Michigan, Trump's up by 1.5. Pennsylvania, Trump's up by 1.8. Wait a minute. Why would Kathy Hochul of New York get up in the evening and talk about these terrible Republicans she discovered that are working for the fire department? Or what did she say? That if they vote for Trump, they're anti-American? I heard her say that. Un-American if you vote for Trump. So anyway, a lot of people are putting out those phony damn polls. This was sad. The ones I just read to you was the same one, Atlas Intel, that put out those individual swing state polls. Atlas Intel was by far the most accurate pollster in 2020. And also recently said, if white males turn out for Trump in Pennsylvania, he's got that in the bag. Now, Trump put out just before his last rally, it came out on Truth. He said, if you haven't voted yet, please click the link below to make your plan. We can't afford to take any chances. Capital letters, you must vote. Stand with me with your vote and your voice. Together we will make America great again. And it's very simple. Swamp the vote USA, okay? That's all. And then you put .com after it. Swamp the vote USA. And then you put .com after it. So where's our friend that was going to go vote? If you haven't, don't worry. we're going to, oops, sorry about that. I left my finger on a comment too long. So, anyway, so that's what you do. You just get down there, and Elon Musk put out, no amount of Diddy party, quote, celebrity endorsements can save Kamala. New York, that's in response to a New York Post article that said New York Republicans vote early in record numbers, but Dem turnout in, quote, total free fall. That's why Kathy Hochul came out. Record numbers in New York City. Dems in total free fall. Ha ha ha. And then they had Cardi B. Oh my, I don't even like saying her name, putting her picture up, or even talking about her, but she did make an idiot of herself. Her teleprompter went out. She's degrading. She's disgusting. She's an insult to decent women, a decent society, a civilization. She's a disgrace. And of course, she's up there talking about how great Kamala's going to do. But at the same time, she has to talk about how horrible things are. Excuse me, I was sipping my coffee. So that makes a lot of sense. So her teleprompter goes out. So she calls one of her aides or flunky workers. Give me your phone. She gets a phone, and they put the words on the teleprompter on the phone. So, and she's standing there holding her phone, reading off of it. So, yeah, just a real puke fest. LMAO, Cardi B's teleprompter was broken. She had no idea what to do for over a minute until someone ran on stage to give her a phone to read off of. Wholly embarrassing. Batman, wholly embarrassing, Batman. And then Elon Musk is putting out, wow, this is crazy, because somebody posted in Arizona, people are walking up, showing up to the polls, are being told they can't vote because their registration has been suspended. That was today, about 6 hours ago. And then you had Tim Walsh. I had to listen to it for myself. Did he call Elon gay? Well, I found a video. I said, let me listen. Yes, he did. What in the world is he thinking? That gay guy talking about Elon. What do we call that? Mirroring. Elon Musk said he called me gay, and now he wants now he wants to touch my ASS. Now he's got Biden on it, the video of Biden, and so many people put that picture up where he's grimacing. Biden's grimacing. Well, he's like to crack his ASS, talking about Trump. I never heard Joe call Elon gay, but I heard Tim Walsh call him gay. But Elon went ahead and put it up there and killed two birds with one stone, so to speak. So Joe is back into sabotaging the campaign. Legacy media's election interference. Harris coverage, 84% positive. Trump coverage, 89% negative. ABC, CBS, and NBC. Those are the three main entities that are licensed by the U.S. government to use the airwaves. They are under the direct auspices, supervision of the Federal Communications Commission. So we'll see what kind of fines get handed out. 84% positive for Kamala and 89% negative for Donald Trump. Wait a second. And then, of all things, who went on Joe Rogan? Well, they wasn't Kamala. John Fetterman, I got to give him credit. I've been too rough on John Fetterman in the past, calling him that guy from the Goonies and hey guys. But anyway, he went on Joe Rogan, and he's improved a lot since his stroke. Either that, or they got a new stand-in and put a rubber mask on some big goober they found somewhere. And Eric Abernethy put out, John Fetterman eventually admits to Joe Rogan that Democrats' border bill merely converted illegal immigrants into legal immigrants rather than preventing illegal immigration. That reminds me of a conversation I had with some customers of mine about 15 years ago. I said it's going to get to the point how they solve illegal immigration is by just calling them legal. And they said, no, that's impossible. I said, you watch. I said, there are going to be people lined up and they're going to be taking the oath of citizenship. Do you swear to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America? And all of them in unison will go, si, senor. So Elon Musk said the so-called secure the border bill would have converted illegals to legal immigrants, legalized the illegal action of the Biden administration, and done nothing to reduce illegal immigration. It was a wolf in sheep's clothing. So now that's what Rogan's got 15 million viewers. People are going to be doing videos on it. That's, like I said, people will take one subject. I'll go through 20 subjects in one live stream, unrehearsed, very few notes, talking off the top of my head, a couple of screenshots, and I'll do an hour and a half to 2 hours and talk about 20 subjects. A lot of people will take one subject and do a 20-minute video, pontificate, and it's fine, if it works. As long as it pounds reality into people's heads, I'm all for it. Did you see Elon's mom? Elon Musk's mom? Trump mentioned her at the rally tonight. He said she looked like a princess. She was a graceful, elegant lady. And she's sitting there. I guess she's at the airport or something. No, she's at Tesla factory with her son. And she's quoted, her name's May Musk. Elon told me they were trying to put him in jail before the election. Elon was willing to accept it in order to save America. Boy, you talk about the women's vote. You put mom up there and mom's on your side, and they're threatening to throw her son in jail. That nasty old Joe Biden and that creepy cackling Kamala. Now, people are putting up where all these weird registrations are. Even just in Pennsylvania, there's a bunch of, hi, Hebrew Hammer, how you doing? There's a bunch of 1,420,000 over 100 that are missing the wrong apartment number, invalid address, DEAD people, they're only like 4,000. Using post office for physical order, all this kind of stuff. I'm not going to read it all, but don't let it discourage you. We got to show up in force. When people put up stuff like that, realize that there have been people analyzing the population, going through computer programs that work for us, MI, military intelligence. So don't despair. Robert F. Kennedy, did you hear that about fluoride? I was waiting for Trump to say something about it in his speech. I don't think he'll say anything. He'll stick with the script, okay, until the election, or he might drop it on the last day of his rallies. But, and some people may not even think it's a big deal. But Robert F. Kennedy said on January 20th, the Trump White House will advise all U.S. water systems to remove fluoride from public water. Fluoride is an industrial waste associated with arthritis, bone fractures, bone cancer, IQ loss. That answers a lot. Neurodevelopmental disorders and thyroid disease. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump want to make America healthy again. So a lot of people have been on the fluoride alarm, ringing the alarm about fluoride. That's the guy, Jonah Goldberg. He's the one that was mouthing off. Jonah Goldberg, he's the one who was saying, went on CNN, yes, for Donald Trump to sit there and call for Liz Cheney to be shot by a firing squad is absolutely disgusting. And I don't know why he's not. All BS. He should be sued for slander. He should be fired. Said he issued a correction. He offered a mea culpa. I let my disgust for Trump's comments to get the better of me. That was his excuse. You're disgusted by Trump saying these warmongers would sing a different tune if they were the ones that had to go fight the battle? That disgusts you? Well, he better do that apology multiple times. I'd still sue him. Did you all see the memo from Full and then Ton? Because that in the past that got you in trouble on Utizzle if you mention that county, Full and then Ton, home of Fawny Willis. They put out a memo. I got a copy of it right here. Good morning, team. For your information, FYI, there are capital letters, no watchers approved for ballot drop-off. Do not let them in the building. If they want to observe from the parking lot, you can't stop that, but they are not allowed to sit in the building. Have your security detail enforce it. So in other words, when they bring their canvas bags packed full of God knows what, nobody's allowed to watch it, they say. But I already saw where Newt Gingrich had a interview with somebody from Fulton County on Fox News, and they were already on it. So Laura Trump and her crowd's going to be on it, and attorneys are going to be on it. Are we going to have another situation where there is so much of a taint? It will be tainted so much so as to be irreparable. impossible for the state to be able to deliver certifiable results. I mean, if it's compromised to a point that is not repairable, that they can't, what are they going to do? Conduct another election properly, or before the deadlines, or but who's the ones in charge? Oh, that's right, Fonnie Willis and a bunch of crooked judges. I don't know. That doesn't mean they can get away. Nobody's above the law, right? Yeah, Devin, 1789. Trump brought that up again. He's brought it up quite a number of rallies. The Alien Enemies Act. Alien Enemies Act. And I'm sure we'll hear about the Communist Control Act. I put that up. That was 1958, wasn't it? Communist Control Act. Very interesting. I'm going to save that picture of Joe. I might use that in the, that guy at the, with the Let's Go Brandon hat. He's looking at 3 felonies. Sitting there getting an argument over a Let's Go Brandon hat. Next thing you know, and he has a woman smack him. It looked like to me, she smacked him a couple of times real quick, swatted at him, and then he made a big deal out of it, and some woman's shoe fell off, and it looked, just dumb. That's why I'm saying cool, calm, collected. You don't get into that kind of crap because you're going to lose. I mean, you look at that bunch that guy was dealing with at that registration place and tell me he had any hope of coming out on top of that argument. Just do what they say, take the hat off, tuck it under your arm, or put it outside, give it to a friend, vote, and leave. You don't get into all that stuff. But there ain't no way anybody can tell me that the majority of those, that's why I'm saying it's so important for you to be involved in local elections, because in most cases, the county registrar is an elected position. And if you fall asleep at the switch and you don't participate in picking who your registrar is, somebody else is going to govern you. And they will hire like-kind people, because birds of a feather flock together. So next thing he knows, he's got a bunch of squawking liberal cat ladies fussing at him, and he's feeding into it. Now he's sitting in jail. And then another strategy Kamala had during one of her pitiful speeches, she can't go a half hour. I said somewhere between a half hour and an hour. I was wrong. She didn't even make it a half an hour. 25 minutes, 20 minutes, and she finishes up blabbing and yelling in the mic about never again. We gotta stand for fight. Well, now her big deal is telling wives to lie to their husband. Yeah, tell them you're voting for Trump, but when you get in there, vote for me, because you know what? I'll tell you what. If I was a young person and I would make an eyes at somebody, they were spooning with, making eyes at me. And then they said to me, well, I believe in a woman's right to choose. I'd say, goodbye. I would not have anything to do with them, much less get married to that thing. Okay? if you can't cherish your own children, okay? You don't respect me enough as a human being to put my right to choose above the love of your own family and your own flesh and blood. Bye bye. And that's what we got to start teaching boys in school. Boy, that's a good way to tell people to have healthy relationships. Lie to your husband, lie to your spouse. What does that tell you about how she treats her constituents? What's her dopey husband think about how she treats him? That she's honest with him? Because from all reports, at least he was honest about the nanny. He could have lied about that. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays is investigating Trump's comments about Liz Cheney as a possible, quote, DEATH threat. She is looking at both misdemeanor and felony charges. That was Citizen Free Press, but after the retraction and the beating they've taken in social media for being ridiculous, I'm sure that, hey, I don't put nothing past them. But the chances of that happening have diminished greatly since the mainstream media is once again eating. Well, I started off talking about Peanut. Peanut, what was the raccoon's name? I can't remember. Raccoons are funny little characters. They're not something you really want in your house. Neither are squirrels. Squirrel, I had a lady that was renting from me, and she would take in birds with broken wings. She would, I used to do that stuff when I was young and I had time for it. And if I found something in the road or stop the car, take a turtle, put it out in the grass, I still do that. But anyway, she had a squirrel that fell out of a tree and broke its back. And they'll do that sometimes. They'll fall out of a tree. They'll make a jump and the branch will break and they'll fall, 50 feet and that ain't good. Well, this thing used to run around on two legs and drag its legs behind it and still be fast as all get out, go across the carpet, just flying across the carpet with two legs. And I used to come there for, I don't know, fix something or collect rent or something. And that squirrel would go up my pant leg and sit on my shoulder. But one time it bit my earlobe. And her husband really couldn't stand it. But she really loved that thing. She had it for like 7 or 8 years. And it corked one morning, it was just corked off, it was a squirrel, And but anyway, so people do have a affinity. And like Francis of Assisi, they take care of all God's creatures. But Trump put out a statement about Peanut. And he did, as far as I know, he didn't mention it at the rallies or anything. There have been horrible reports out of New York, my former home state, where the state environmental agents raided the home of Mark Longo and his wife. Mark was taken into custody for hours while officials searched his home and eventually took 2 of their pets, Fred the raccoon and Peanut the squirrel. These animals were later executed by the state of New York. Well, I guess if they were environmental agents, They're not elected, dog catchers elected. These are some state employees that have no accountability. The New York authorities, under their terrible governor, put more effort into finding and eliminating a squirrel who was innocent by all accounts than they do to control the unchecked illegal immigrants who have flooded their state. If Peanut could have told them that he was from Mexico, they would have sent him on his way and given him a hotel room and a $500 gift card to Buddy Squirrel. Instead, he was taken from his family. Very sad and a complete waste of resources. When we win, we will get our priorities in order and MAGA. So, yeah, Buddy the Squirrel and Dan Scavino put up a video of a squirrel putting a Donald Trump mask on that was hanging from a string and running around on the porch. Did any of you see Sammy the Bold Guarano? He went to a Trump rally. He went to a Trump rally and ran into Joe Arpaio. Sammy the Bold Guarano. He spent some time in Arpaio's jail. And Gravano's a whole story. We could get into that for a long time. But the long and the short of it is, he behaved himself. He had a notion to mouth off at Joe Arpaio, who as Gravano said, is 90 years old. And still looks damn good, though. And about his conditions. Sammy the Bull's lucky he's alive. He knows that. One, for his lifestyle. Two, that he didn't get to chair for some of the stuff he'd done through his life. And anyway, even old dogs can learn new tricks. And he he said he was glad that he was put that chip off his shoulder with Arpaio and had a decent meeting with him, a handshake, and they took pictures, and they're both pulling for Mr. T. And so the way New York has been taken, well, I don't know if he's New York native or Arizonian. That's how he ended up in Joe Arpaio's jail. He was in a witness protection program, and he went to Arizona, and he screwed up, and he ended up in one of those tent compounds, 110 degrees outside, 120 degrees inside, no air conditioning, pink underwear, and, Joe Arpaio didn't play around. So that made me think of, Guantanamo. When we first got all those enemy combatants with Afghanistan, they expanded the facility. It was basically tents and chain link fences, cages with tent roofs, outdoor living, very much like Joe Arpaio. And as these things go on that we're witnessing, some of it's going to be false. Some of it's going to be people just trying to get views on their video, maybe exaggerations, whatever. But there's going to be plenty of players that are going to be complicit in doing something that's not in compliance with the law. In other words, it's going to be a lot of people going to jail. That being said, well, I mean, how many sealed indictments are there for other things? human trafficking, drug dealing, P3DOs, financial crimes, 200,000, over 200,000, probably up to 250,000. And then you've got ongoing criminal activity right now in the thousands. It doesn't take many. Each precinct, you only need a few key people playing around in each precinct. You do the math. But anyway, look for there to be some sort of similar arrangement like Arpaio had until we get better facilities like they have there in El Salvador, like 60,000 bed prisons. But like I said, I don't know if it's going to go through a process where we're all going to learn a lot about the court system. We're going to learn a lot about the Constitution. We're going to learn how we have strayed from the Constitution. What is inauguration in the Constitution? March, is it March 21st or something like that, 23rd? Is that going to come into play? Are the states going to come into play once things get hashed out and people see that it is not, some of these elections are not going to be repairable? They're tainted beyond repair. Either way it goes, we stay cool, calm, collected, because what we're dealing with is occupying forces. Trump said, we've been invaded, we've been occupied, we've been conquered. That's why I say conquered no more. We're going to take it back. And we're going to do it in a lawful process, undeniable. And whichever way it goes, we're going to do what we're supposed to do. Everybody listening that is able to vote, make sure you get it done. Who are you talking to, Devin, about living in New York? I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere. Across the desert bare, man. I've been everywhere. So, anyway, folks, I'm just cruising through the comments. Elohim, how you doing? Oh, to pacify prisoners, you say, Hebrew? Yeah, they have what, higher levels of that stuff. Hebrew Hammer said he's a Trump Jew. All right. All right, folks. Anyway, tomorrow's another day. I will be up live tomorrow. And did any of you all catch anything that Mr. T put out there other than Kamala's a cracker? She cracks under pressure. I was going to get a clip of the Jeffersons with Archie Bunker because the big laugh back in the 70s when he said, "You're a cracker." Well, he did say we were on very thin ice. He said that at his last rally, about halfway through. Did y'all catch that? He said we're on very thin ice. I'm not saying to not be concerned. I'm not saying to not appreciate the gravity of the moment. I'm saying keep yourself collected, okay? Don't panic. If if. Read that from Rudyard Kipling. If you can keep your head when everyone around is losing their head. All right, folks. Well, I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me, and I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. I did not mention one time to give me a thumbs up. Daggone it. But anyway, I hope you do, and give me a thumbs up. Helps the video get around. Everybody, thank for helping on Buy Me a Coffee. And I'll be up again tomorrow, God willing. All right, folks. Hi, and look, that's right. Look to Almighty God. If things look bad, seek His peace. I'll put that on the screen, Ann. That's right. I hope you all have a great night, folks. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.